Okay, today we're going to be replacing the upstream oxygen sensor on a Hyundai Ioniq Hybrid. This is a 2020, but should be the same for a 2017 to 2022. So I've got a check engine light indicating bank 1, sensor 1, that's the upstream oxygen sensor. So I've already got the car lifted up. We got a replacement part, NTK 27078. Bought that online on Rock Auto. You can get it at any of your local stores as well, but that's an OE part. From the top here, if you go to the back of the engine, you can see I've already disconnected this clip, but this clip goes right on the connector right there. To get it off, you just press down on this little tab and it should pull right off. So that's the connector up there. I'll show you the sensor on the underside. So I've already removed the plastic cover. It's back there, just a series of bolts and these little pop trims. For these, to get these off, you just get a little flat head under there, because when they're installed, they're pressed down. You get a little flat head in there and you can pop it open and it'll come right out. On the underside of the car, this is the passenger side. There's the wheel. Coming up right in here. So you've got the axle in here, but right up in there, you can see that part right there. That is the oxygen sensor we're after. This is bank 1, sensor 1, or the upstream oxygen sensor. That's the wire that goes up to that connector that we were just looking at. So we're going to try to access that. So before we work on the oxygen sensor itself, I want to show you how this connector comes apart. So I was able to just get my fingers up in here and push it out. You can see it just slides there. It's just a U-shaped bracket that just pops right out. Also, it's kind of hard to see, but down in there, there's a couple spots where the wiring is harnessed. Let's see if I can get you a good view. There's just kind of a couple spots. It's hard to see from here. That bracket gets in the way, but you can not really see it down there. But there are a couple of spots where that wiring is attached, and you can just slide it out as just a U-shaped bracket. Okay, so this next part was a little bit, well, quite a bit difficult. So I had to get an O2 socket. It's got a long sleeve like this. It's got to be able to reach in pretty deep. I got this one at AutoZone. It was about $19. You have to feed it on there. I'll show you with the new one, but you've got to work with this cord. You've got to make sure you get it all the way in there with the cord on there, and then get a socket on it. I had to use a breaker bar, which was a bit challenging. Ultimately, I used a little bit of an extension, and then here's my breaker bar. And I had to maneuver it up through here, kind of through the wheel well and up into there, and got it onto the socket up there, and was able to break it loose after a while. And then using the smaller ratchet, I was able to get it loose the rest of the way. So reach up in here. So now this is unscrewing. The cable tends to fight you a bit as it gets caught on things. But there we go. There's the oxygen sensor. So a bit of a hassle. Definitely not the easiest one to take out. Accessibility and getting leverage is the hardest part. We'll try to get the new one on now. Okay, so I'll show you a little bit with the old one. Kind of the way this socket goes on. It's got that nice slot for the cord. You'll see down in here, you can kind of see a hex shape. I'll try to get it in the light here. There we go. So that's what you're trying to get the socket onto. Like I said, getting leverage on there is a bit of a challenge. And then I also found, because the cord does fight you, once you get it partway around, there's a heat shield in there that kind of gets in the way. So I'd have to pull the socket off, reposition the cord, and keep turning it. It's a bit of a bugger. All right, so here's the new O2 sensor. Again, this is an NTK 27078. It's a flanged O2 sensor. It's got the cap on there. It looks like it's already pre-lubricated with anti-seize, so we won't bother with putting any of that in. As you go to put one of these in, you want to turn it counterclockwise first, just to make sure you don't have it cross-threaded before you tighten it down. Just make sure it's in there even. You don't want to cross-thread one of these things. So we'll try to get it back in there. Oh, and from what I could find online, this is an M18 sensor, which NTK, or yeah, what the manufacturer says, torque spec on this is about 26 to 33 foot-pounds. So I've got a torque wrench down here. I've got it set at about 28 foot-pounds. We'll see if we can get that on there in that space and get it tightened down. So I wasn't able to get the torque wrench up in there quite, but I was able to use my other wrenches and got it, I believe, within about spec there on the torque. It's in pretty tight. And then from underneath, I fed the connector up to kind of right up in there, and then was able to grab it from the top. And then I got it brought around here. There it is, and I slid it down in that U bracket that I showed you earlier. And then this will just clip back on, and we should be good to go. Hope this helps.